Peter Charles here for Hooked for Life Fly Fishing, and today we're going to tie the Munro Killer. Now this is a famous Scottish pattern, and it's kind of derived from the Thunder and Lightning, which originated in the mid-19th century. So it's got a lot of history to it, and it's a colorful fly, and I kind of really like it. So I think it also would be useful for steelhead as well. So let's get on to the fly and have a look at the materials. We're going to be using a salmon single in a size 4 for a hook. Our thread is 8/0 black. Our tag and rib is a small oval in gold. Our tail and our throat is made out of orange caulk. Now, I'm using a different floss today. It's a black floss. This is 4 strands. I'm only going to use 1 strand. It's 300 deniers per strand. If you've looked at some of my other videos, you know that some of my black floss has got lots of twist in it, and I fought it continually. I gave up and bought something else. We're also using blue dyed guinea for part of the throat as well. And the wing is yellow dyed squirrel. So let's get started. Now, this is a floss body, so we're going to have to be neat putting on our thread. Bring it up to the hook point. Now for the tag and rib, take off enough because you've got to do both. Okay, let's take this opportunity to get rid of the waste here. And we're just going to bring our thread out of the way. Now fold this back, and what we're going to do is we're going to trap it. Now the tinsel is ready to be used as the rib. Next is the tail. We're going to use nice bright orange. Now we're going to put on a black floss. Keep in mind that we're only using 1 strand of this 4-strand floss. So you're going to have to use a lot because the 1 strand is not very wide. Okay, at this stage you can see we have a bump here. If I was to continue putting my floss on and winding my floss on at this point, what we'd end up with is a big bump at the back. I'm going to try and avoid that. So first I'm going to put in my floss. Now what I'm going to do is carefully wind forward, in touching turns, and then I'm going to come back and forward again. I'm going to fill that space. Very tedious, but if you want a nice looking body, it's the way to go. Yeah, I realize it's super tedious, but it's essential to getting a nice body, especially when we're using such a fine floss. First thing I'm going to do is smooth it out, and if you're having trouble getting that, I've got dry fingers, so a little bit of dabbing wax on the fingers, not much, just a little bit. And that'll smooth it out. There we go. I'm going to take the twist out of it. Just like the thread, you want to put this on in touching turns. Smooth it out. You'll get a few broken fibers. It's kind of tough to avoid. Oh yeah, this stuff is going on a lot smoother than the last batch. The twists come out of this stuff. Look at that ribbed appearance. Sometimes I swear you have to be a fly tying masochist to do a floss body this neatly. Okay, now for the rib. We'll put one turn right at the back and try not to dislodge your tail. And then come forward. Might as well leave it in that position because we're going to do our two throats next. First, some orange. And this is not a long throat, so don't make it too aggressive. I would say that's about right. I want to leave it a little shorter than the hook. Now for our guinea. And finally for our squirrel wing, we're going to stack this. Okay, bring it the length of the hook, size it. Let's put a soft wrap at the back to keep everything together. Bring it forward and whip finish. Now we're ready for a little head cement. Here you go, the Munro Killer. I mean, this is a great looking pattern. I love the color combination. I think it'll work just as well for steelhead as it will for Atlantic salmon. And it's not a difficult pattern to do. I mean, the dual throat is not a big deal. You know, it goes together quite quickly. And as you can see, my new floss, wherever it went, there we go. My new floss worked a lot nicer than the old stuff. So, there you go, the Munro Killer. Cheers.